Hey guys, welcome to today's trade breakdown. No news Monday, but really good trading day for me today. Only took one trade today, which was a winner, was perfectly patient, so perfectly managed trade and day to day. That's exactly how I want to trade, how I want to continue to trade. And yeah, it's just really well done, I have to admit. So really proud of today's trading day. So let's break this down. Basically today's conditions are not ideal already today, just because we have a no news Monday. Therefore it's a bit we have to be a bit more cautious. It's more likely, or it's sometimes likely, that we can have seek and destroy conditions, high resistance. But for today, already with the opening, it looked really clean, and to me it's not that I really decide already I'm not trading today. I would like to have the ability to decide how we deliver with the opening. I think that really tells you the whole story. Most of the time, the opening really clears so much up, and then it's more clear if you have clear trading conditions or not. So right here we are still in this kind of market maker buy model. So sells delivery and now buys the delivery. Definitely looking at the actual liquidity right here, so higher time frame buys liquidity on alts. So basically if we adjust for contract switches, we are not trading at all-time highs, but if we only look at the June contract, then we are definitely attacking right here all-time highs. So therefore it's kind of already a level where we have to be cautious, where we can also expect that we eventually see some high resistance to reach forward. And that's also what happened today. So we have also this huge new week opening gap, because I think Friday was a bank holiday, so really high, huge high time frame gap. We have London highs down here, midnight opening price down here, no open kill zone says liquidity. We scrapped London highs already. We scrapped no open kill zone buys liquidity before the opening. We have also this daily, no, not daily wick, but the buys liquidity right here, which is also kind of really standing out, I would say. Also really important, and the quadrants right here are the daily rejection block quadrants, so which you can see right here. So these are also important to me, and from there we can also already drop to a 1 minute chart. So right here we can already see that we are really overextended. So we did no damage to the sell side. We are above all opening prices, trading right here. And therefore, it's clear that before we can even think about reaching all-time highs, we want to see that we trade back to the sell side, that we do some damage to the sell side, that we sweep equal lows, for example, right here, and then we can look for all-time highs. Before we go now into the executions and what my thinking process was with the opening, I first want to look at regular trading hours, because that's also really important to me today. So what we have is, let's drop to a 5 minute chart, a Newton range gap of 108 handles. So we are definitely below 120. Therefore, we want to see that we trade back to CE, and from there on continue basically our trend. So continue with the higher time frame. But our first narrative is that we reach back to CE, and there we look how we react. Are we reacting off the level? Do we respect the upper half in that case, or do we close below it and aim for a full gap closer? Today, it was obvious that, or obvious for me, that we likely trade back to it and then continue higher, reaching for the daily buys liquidity we had on electronic trading hours marked out. Also, right here on regular trading hours, really important is the high right here for me, because that's also some external liquidity level, and therefore I also regard that right there really as important. And now I want to drop back. So the high right here also gets really important, you will see in the next few minutes. So let's drop now back to electronic trading hours and the executions, or what was my thinking process. And I think that's even more today really important, is so maybe even more important than the trade I take, because yes, you can take the trade, but if you take, I don't know, 3-4 losses before that, you're still unprofitable. So it's also really important which trade you don't want to take, and how to stay patient. So that's what really turned today's trading day into such a highly profitable day because I was so patient today. So we open up right here with the opening. Trading right here, my thinking process is, okay, we already swapped now Newcomb kill zone says liquidity. Let me quickly check. That doesn't really even count. Actually, that was marked out wrong. It has to be like that because 9 AM doesn't really count as this as liquidity right there, but definitely a important high still. So we will mark it out as well. So what we did basically is we swapped the high right here, we swapped the high right here, we swapped the high right here, no damage to the sell side. We opened up, and already from there I want to see that we trade to the upside, take out the high right there, and from there on I already look for a possible short opportunity, because as I already mentioned, we cannot really reach all-time highs without doing any damage to the sell side. So right here I'm actually looking for a bearish setup to present itself. But yeah, we're trading up with only 1 minute and then basically already trade lower, sweeping the equal low. So that's what I was looking for. In that case, because we're really this bullish, and also because CE is right here as well, would be right here. CE is right here. So actually, we could also mark out the liquidity right there. I'm not really focused so much on Newcomb kill zone size liquidity because it's likely and really can occur that we only do some pre-market damage to the sell side and then already continue higher, because sometimes that's already enough. That's really what you have to be aware of. But yeah, we swap the sales liquidity and from then already trade higher, and that's really difficult right here because right here, yes, we already trade back to CE. You can see that right here, and yeah, trade back to CE with the wick right here, basically respecting it, also trade back to the order block right there, and from then you could already think, okay, we need to trade higher. We already swapped also our pre-market sales liquidity, so why don't we enter right here? Because it's just way too early, and that's the really important point. I think the setup right here in that case would even work out. So just, I don't know, to gamble into it, I would say, because we see such an aggressive close. We cannot drop lower than a 1 minute. For that entry, you have to be really aggressive on a 1 minute, because we can't, because I myself can't drop lower than a 1 minute. That's also what was with the short right here, because I think dropping lower than 1 minute, like 15-second chart right here, would be probably a good entry. But I'm not really able to do that, and I don't want to trade this early also. I mean, for the short, yes, but for the long, I want to wait for the 10 AM macro. That's really important. That's some rules I have, basically learned with experience. So therefore, this trade right here is not really ideal to go long. But then we trade once again to the downside. And why do we do that? Because if we once again go back to regular trading hours, we sweep regular trading hours, buy some liquidity, and what is also really important, we only wicked to the CE level right there. So that's kind of a bit too shallow, I would say. That's kind of unfinished business. That's what you have to be aware of. And actually, my first trade I was looking for is the inversion family gap right here. But we never traded back to it and completely trade lower. And then I was also looking at the liquidity right here, because to me, okay, that's kind of engineered sense liquidity in advance of Newcomb kill zone sense liquidity. In that case, I like that we create SMT. I like the fact that we fail to even get a entry, because in that case we stay bullish, we stay above CE of our new open range gap. We don't close below it, we only wick to it, and the SMT makes it even more high quality. So if you drop lower to ES, you can see ES takes out the low right here, but NQ did not, and that's really important. I really like to see that for a market maker buy model, because now we scrap pre-market maker sells liquidity, we trade it back to regular trading hours. We also have now some stop runs, so breaking above the high right here, that's also a stop run. In that case, basically a fake out to the upside, and that's what we want to see. We want to see first some manipulation. We got manipulation above the high right here, and also with the SMT, manipulation is also right here in play. So that's really important. That's our perfect smart money reversal market maker buy model. with our 10 a.m. macro. So right here it starts 9:45. Where do we enter? Right here. But now I want to also talk about my entry because it's maybe a bit aggressive, you would say, but it's actually not. It's perfect for the 1 minute, and it's definitely more difficult in 1 minute because if you really trade inversion failure gaps, how you should trade them, it's that you wait for a close above them. So inversion failure gaps, it's not enough that we close above CE. We need actually to close above the full inversion failure gap, so that we basically close above it, then came lower back to it, react from it, and trade higher. Where we only are able to anticipate a close below it is if we are really volatile, for example trading a ATM model right here, so a really quick market maker sell model with the opening, because there we have really high volatility, and as you see, we never had the chance to even wait for a retrace of the inversion failure gap right there. Still, I definitely liked more to look for longs. Why? Because our higher time frame is definitely bullish. We are still in this market maker buy model. We are expecting bullish, disrespecting bearish. Already the obvious sign that we close above CE right here, use it as resistance right here as well, now close above it, and then we just want to look for external liquidity. We don't need to trade against the high time frame trend. That's really important in that case. Therefore the long is right there, definitely more important than to look for a quick short, because the short is only going to be really a shallow move most of the time. If we trade at all-time highs, if we have a bullish trend, then the short is going to be a shallow move towards kind of pre-market says liquidity, most of the time not really getting you much out of it, and if you aim for runners, it can be definitely a bit painful. Therefore the long is really well done. So, but now back to the entry I took. Actually, I think this right here looked a bit different today, or I marked it out a bit wrong. Maybe we should also do it like that. I don't know if something changed here. If we do it like that, does it even change something? No. Okay, it's that case maybe I did it a bit wrong, but sorry guys. So now back to the entry. Why is this inversion failure gap so important right here? Because we have displacement through sales liquidity right here. You can see the gap right there. I think you could mark it out like this as well. In that case, I also like to include even the volume imbalance down there, because we can see that we also respect it right here. So maybe something we can look for, but I mean, to mark it out like this is also completely valid. And why do you like it this much? I think I leave it like that because we close below it right here, and through that we basically validate the bearish failure gap once again as bearish failure gap, because it was a down. So we have a bearish failure gap right here, but then we trade through it. Now it's a inversion failure gap, but then we close once again below it. Now it's a reclaimed bearish failure gap, and then we once again trade through it and close above it. In that case, it's now once again validated as a inversion failure gap. So therefore, it's really important that we do not trade lower than basically the lows right here. Definitely, yeah, you can also trade your stop below SMT, below the swing low, but in that case, that's way too aggressive for me, because basically with entering right here. But why do I also trade my stop right here? Because I'm in that case really patient. I really liked it. So we respected C right here. We are still not really as clear where we want to trade, but this candle really tells it all. Why? Because this candle fails to trade back to the inversion failure gap right here. So the wick really fails to even trade back to it, and then we see this aggressive move above the wick, and from there on already know, okay, now definitely we are in bullish market structure, in bullish order flow. And I definitely do not want to see that we even trade back into the inversion failure gap right here, because it's now basically also a balanced price range. Downside delivery, upside delivery, downside delivery, upside delivery. I mean, those prices get treated to so much. Now I want to see speed. I do not want to see that we even take out the low right here. I mean, that we trade back to the inversion failure gap right there, definitely possible, yes. Why? Because we have now, yeah, once again close towards the upside, and we can trade back to it. I then labeled the fair gap right here as breakaway gap, but that was mainly also due to the fact how we delivered on ES. So that's also really important to keep in mind, that you have also to take a look at ES. In that case, ES was a bit more bullish. I really like the short-term run and stops right here. We had also the 5-minute engineered stop run below the low right here, so that's also really important. So I really like how we stay in the upper portion of the breakaway gap right here, and from there continue towards the upside. So enter right here with three contracts, close two right there, and close my last partial right there. Why did I knew that we would have troubles reaching all-time highs? Because, yeah, as I mentioned before, we have today a no news Monday, and we did so much damage to the buy side already. We took out now basically our AM session liquidity already once, twice, and with that basically 3 times. And once we reach, or once we sweep AM session liquidity three times, you have to be cautious, especially also with looking at ES. You can see that we trade back to the C level right here of, I don't even know what this level is. Let me check, of the wick right here. So yeah, also was looking at the daily buy liquidity, but in that case also looking at the rejection block, because yeah, it's just standing out, and that fact was working very well. The C level got respected, and then we dumped to the downside. That's why you have to be cautious on a no news Monday. You can't really be sure that we really always deliver to the external liquidity. But in that case, this trade was so perfect, so well done. So I was so patient today. I really like that. So I want to continue trading like that. And I think kind of also like that we now trade to the downside, because with that we kind of complete regular trading hours. I mean, not really, because we were respecting CE, but it already looked to me a bit cautious. And to me, right here, we have also a regular trading hours market maker signal. We sweep already the extra liquidity on regular trading hours. On electronic trading hours, we failed to do that, but definitely on regular trading hours, we did that. And we also do have still this huge Newton range gap right there, where we have this still, huge inefficiencies, where we could also trade back to it. And also right here, we've kind of, trend line liquidity. So that's low resistance liquidity. That's something we have to be aware of. That's something the market can go for, and that's what we're doing right now. So that's also something you have to be aware of. Why we can anticipate that we are still trading lower later on. And also, if we drop back to electronic trading hours, we can also see that we have right here on the hourly chart a wick to the upside. That can also can be used as a rejection block. And if you look closely, we were also respecting the CE level. Wait 1 second. So there you have it. And yeah, that's already also telling you that we have to trail our stops now tight. And yeah, perfectly stop out right there. So once I got stopped right there, we completely dumped to the downside. So really well done. But I will do that only on the 5-minute, because I think it's a bit too much on the chart. So yeah, trade to the downside, swap Newcomb kill zones as liquidity, and with that we are done. But I'm really proud of today's trading day, I have to admit. To be this patient, I really like it. But now also, what I also wanted to say, what I kind of forgot to say or mention, is that I really do much care about the opening. So why do I think we have a high quality opening today? It's because of displacement. Once I see displacement, I'm definitely more likely to take a trade, because to me, we have also clear, I think there are 2 parts to it. One part is definitely, do we have obvious liquidity pools? And that's definitely the case right here. So equal pre-market size liquidity, daily buy or kind of a important buy liquidity right here, daily buy liquidity also to reach for, and also New York open kill zone size liquidity kind of stands out right here, especially with the wick at the high time frame gap. And also regarding our today's Newton range gap, so perfectly actually. And the second part is definitely, do we have displacement? And we do have a really good displacement to the upside right here. And I kind of knew that we have only manipulation so far, or that we need to once more manipulate to the downside. in that case, that's both manipulation to the upside and to the downside. And then I knew, okay, we are definitely going to attack the liquidity right here. I don't know, I've seen this so many times, but yeah, really good trade today. But I think that's enough. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it and see you soon.